you impressed by the Bengals or disappointed in the Chiefs?
Man, I'm so disappointed in the Chiefs. Up 21-3. Now, I know, kids always with the joystick. You got to be up 21 to get the joystick and take it, and you got to go somewhere else and go to your mama's house. But 18 is so damn close that I'm going to say give up the joystick right now. You're up 21-3. You scored touchdowns on your first 3 drives. I'm not going to bury the headline this time. Teams are 82-3 when up 18 points or more in the championship game or Super Bowl. You're supposed to win that game beyond. And the Chiefs found a way to let that team get back into the game, mentally first, of course. Going into the half, you don't get any points. You know how that jog is to the locker room. Oh, missed opportunity for them. Oh, you start to feel Uncle Mo joining the chorus. And then you come out in the second half, and it's a completely different ball game, a tale of 2 halves. Highly disappointed in the Chiefs and highly disappointed in some of its performances from its star players. Let's start at the top. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, what is going on with the Patrick Mahomes I saw in the Super Bowl last year and the Patrick Mahomes I saw in the second half of this game where he abandons the fundamentals, he grabs a stick and tries to draw it up in the dirt consistently and constantly. It was a situation where all you had to do was just be yourself, not do too much, not get outside of yourself, not get outside of your skin and comfort zone. But the Chiefs, they walked around like, oh, this is going to be Buffalo 2.0. Oh, we're going to win the coin toss and just go out there and score again. Oh, this team doesn't stand a chance against our high-power offense. We're going to hit the switch again in the second half somehow, some way. And you never saw them do that. So as great as it was a win for Cincinnati, the Bengals, young Joe Burrow, props. But damn, the Chiefs gave this one to them. I'm disappointed in them.
Yeah, as am I. I'm the same as you, 21-3. And first off, let's talk about game management, right? Clock management, because we saw that in Buffalo, 13 seconds left, or in Kansas City, 13 seconds left. You let Kansas City win that game. Horrible decisions on that side of the ball, from the kickoff to the way you play defense. So, you go back to that first half. You take a timeout if you're Andy Reid, and then you challenge a first down call that you lose. So you don't have a timeout in that situation. At the end of that first half, you've got a chance to double up. You got to throw that ball into the end zone. It's either incompletion, we kick a field goal, or a touchdown. Yep. But those are the only 2 options. Then you throw the little swing pass, and it's like they never recovered from that boneheaded decision. And so now you get the kickoff, you go 5-6 plays, you end up having a punt, right, and give it the ball back to Cincinnati. So you're not, you don't double up in that situation. And then on top of it, Cincinnati's playing a shell defense, a too-high defense, basically saying, we'll give you all the running game you want, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did in the Super Bowl. And it's almost as though there's football hubris going on. We don't want to win that way. We're averaging 6 yards a carry, but that's not the way we want to win. What we want to be is dynamic. What we want to do is get you in the passing game. What we want to do is get the ball in the hands of the receivers and let them, make ridiculous plays. Dude, if somebody is going to afford you 6 yards a carry, you bludgeon that team until they bring an extra safety down, an extra defender in the box, and then you go over the top. So there's this, to me, this, like I said, football hubris. Like, that's not how we want to win. We want to win the way we want to win, and that's the only way we're going to play. Yeah. And ultimately, it's what cost you not only the Super Bowl, but it cost you the AFC Championship yesterday.
I'm very impressed with the Bengals. I don't know how you guys are impressed with the Bengals. 33 years, they're in the Super Bowl. It's amazing.
Because they're the Bengals. It's like death, taxes, and the Bengals are going to stink.
Not
anymore. And so it's really hard for us old heads to put it around that.
Cincinnati's good.
Yeah. I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I don't know any world. Literally, 2 years on this earth. I'm 35, so most of my time on this earth, that's been correct. So, like I said, maybe we can get out of paying taxes now, too. I'm very impressed with the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. He's incredible. Evan McPherson's got ice in his veins. But you really need to talk about that Cincinnati defense.
Yes.
They need to get some props. Because to me, you just mentioned it, the turning point in this game, which was really a tale of 2 halves, was stopping them before halftime. Really bad play calling, bad execution. That stop right here that we're showing right now, right before the half, to keep them from not only scoring a touchdown, but obviously capitalizing on their mistake and not letting them get a field goal, was huge for the defense. You don't let them go up 28-10 or 24-10. going into the half. Huge stop.
24-3 or 28-3. Yeah, it
10.
wasn't even 10.
Yeah, well, yeah, 10. So at the end of the half, like that's a huge stop. That's a big deficit to overcome coming out of the half. You go into the half with a lot of momentum. You're feeling good. You're feeling like you can climb your way back into this. They've come back before. They have a lot of confidence, and you've got Joe Burrow. And then at the end of the second half, the Chiefs ran 3 plays, first and goal at the 5, and settled for the game-tying field goal as well. So I think the Cincinnati defense was tremendous in this game. They were 4-4 on third downs in the first half, 2 of 8 on third downs in the second half. So Joe Burrow, obviously incredible. Evan McPherson, incredible. Zach Taylor deserves a lot of credit. But that Cincinnati defense, they went into Arrowhead and stopped Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce from getting out of there with a win with a huge lead. You've got to be impressed with the Bengals.
It's hard. It's hard to be more impressed with the Bengals without knowing who they're going against and the Goliath that they're going against. Despite the roller coaster ride of the Chiefs this year and kind of mid-season, you were looking at Patrick Mahomes like, is this regression or is this him learning a different way to approach the position, and this is progression? We were kind of caught in between on Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs team, but they answered the bell to win 8 straight in a row before they saw these same Cincinnati Bengals. And in that game, they were up 14. And then you were like, maybe they were just playing with their food. But when they see them in Arrowhead and this AFC Championship game and their 4th straight AFC Championship game, Cincinnati doesn't stand a chance. And then you're up 21-3. You're like, yep, kind of right. Cincinnati doesn't stand a chance. And that's almost like what Cincinnati invited from KC. Come on, think that you're better than us. Get a little cocky out there. Lose your way. And you saw that they went off script. And off script is fine when you're like, hey, Kels, run that. You know, Andy Reid calls something. Kels, run that. Off script is great when it's on. But what about when off script is off? And that's what we saw at the end of the first half and certainly at the end of the game. This game could have been over with the sack and the forced fumble on Patrick Mahomes, but they recover it. There were just too many times you were like, are the Kansas City Chiefs even playing their style of football right now? You brought up the rushing stats. Even though KC outrushed the Bengals, they didn't do it to the degree that they should have done it because of what the play calls were. And it's funny, it's taking me back to the days where we couldn't beat the Philadelphia Eagles with Andy Reid. And they were pass happy then. They had McNabb, they had Westbrook. Even though Westbrook was a good running back, they wanted to throw him the ball all the time out the backfield. And that was one thing that put a glass ceiling on the Philadelphia Eagles. In obvious situations, you should run the ball. They still were trying to force the pass. I just looked at this team like they weren't properly orchestrating their moves to get to where they should have been, where their talent suggested that they were. The first half, in most games for me, is a talent conversation. It's a play calling conversation. You come out, you're up 21-3. We're better than that team. And the second half is more of like, okay, mental attributes. Okay, momentum. Perseverance. Are they still holding on strong? And I just saw that the mojo, the mentality of the Bengals was stronger than the Chiefs, but I thought that the talent and the team, the Chiefs, were better. To me, it's just a huge disappointment. They stopped short.
Yeah, speaking of the mentality aspect, and this is where Joe Burrow comes in for me, tip of the cap to Joe Burrow, because that dude is all onions. I mean, there were so many times where they had him dead to rights, they had him sacked, they had him on the ground, and he somehow avoided it. He either threw it to somebody, dumped it off, or that guy basically avoided the sack, scrambled around, converted third downs with his feet. He was nothing short to me of amazing. And to be under the duress that guy has been on, we had a Super Bowl 26 30-year reunion the other day on Zoom. Joe Gibbs was talking, Charlie Casserly was on there, about 20 guys that played on that team. And Joe Gibbs mentioned, he goes, in 1991, that team in 19 games on the way to a world championship gave up 9 total sacks.
Damn.
9 total sacks. He goes, Joe Burrow just got sacked 9 times and found a way to win against Tennessee.
Right.
Like, they didn't get to him a bunch, but they got pressure on him a bunch, and not only could he avoid it, not only did he scramble around, not only did he convert with his feet, but he still made pinpoint accurate passes while under duress. I keep watching Joe Burrow, and the guy has been nothing short of absolutely amazing throughout this playoff run. And you know what? I frankly didn't believe they could do it, and I stand corrected.
Well,
brother.
You mentioned David and Goliath. Who won that?
David.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I ain't had that
Little
book.
Stone, you know?
Yeah, I heard. I heard.
Oh,
in the real world, the rich get richer.
Back to church.
No, I need to know that was a story. That was a story. Real life.
True. That's what it goes.
Yeah.
That's why you say David and Goliath. David won that battle. David won that one. So, yes, I'm with you. Sometimes it's hard to move on from the brands and what you are, and for all of us to catch up with. Maybe the Bengals are really just a good team.
Oh.
Maybe they really are. They can
think?
figure it out a way to win. They're in the Super Bowl. Like Joe Burrow talked about it last week. He's tired of the underdog, label, which, I heard that was respectfully. You are an underdog in this situation.
Yeah.
This is the big bad Chiefs, which is why you guys are saying you're disappointed in them. But I think the Bengals are just really impressive. They're doing it in a different way. They're doing it with some limitations. The offensive line has not been great. 9 sacks is not a great statistic to have on your way to the Super Bowl, but he's the leader, and he's got that juice.
This would be the first time in history the O-line actually buys a quarterback watch.
We owe you.
Yeah, they might.
We owe you. Here you go.
Get him some steak dinner.
It's crazy how adversity sometimes just increases the bark, increases the bite of that dog. And one thing about Cincinnati, I have never slighted them. They are some dogs. You can tell this year, especially, they are some dogs. And I'm a cat lover myself. I don't possess any dogs. I don't have any dogs in my life. But I know my neighbors have dogs. And it's one thing about a dog. And it's crazy. They can hear things that you can't hear. They can see things you're not seeing. The ambulance and the fire department is 20 miles away, and your dog is acting crazy. And you're like, what's the hell wrong with the dog? But he's letting you know, hey, something's going on around here. Disaster's coming. I'm looking at these Bengals like they were just in the game down 21-3, and then all of a sudden you just looked at them like something's going on. And they were like, yo, it's going to be some hell to pay right now because of the dog that they have in them. And then the Chiefs couldn't respond with the dog that they have in them. You say David and Goliath. I know it's a good story, and I read it, but at the same time, I know reality. David gets his ass whooped more than Goliath. Bigger, faster, stronger usually wins. Rich get richer, etc. But the point is, I thought in this game, after the scare of the Buffalo Bills, who most would say was a better team than the Cincinnati Bengals, you're on full alert. This dog is ready. Yeah. And you saw him right there blink in the moment when Cincinnati said, no, we're coming. We have a greater dog inside of us.
You're not really a cat guy, are you?
Yeah. Uh-oh. About to judge me? Yeah, I'm a cat guy.
No.
Yeah, I don't have
You know the
cat.
problem with cats? If they could text you back, they wouldn't.
I love that about cats.
Yeah, I like the independence too as well.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't need all that needy stuff.
You got that attention.
I gotta wake up and get up before me.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's your
Dogs
note.
are texting you back now.
With you,
They're
with
texting
you.
you back.